All right, welcome back to Mind and Magic. I want to start off by saying I know a lot of you have subscribed to the new channel, but yet there's no content on the channel. And that's for a couple reasons. The first being that I've been hard at work on the album, which only has another couple songs to go, but then starts the refining process and mastering and all that. The one I just finished, I would have loved to release today because it heavily correlates to the top stories I was seeing on X today when I logged in. It would have been perfect to just drop that one in the middle of the news cycle. That would have been good timing, but I don't even have a video for it yet. I just got the music finished on that one. And the other reason is because I'm still experimenting with what one viewer had suggested on putting some money behind some videos as ad placements. And I just got the first results in. Now, I didn't throw a lot of money behind the videos. I only threw a 20 spot behind each one because I was told that even a small amount can make a difference. Well, the first results are in, and according to the stats, it got me more views. However, when it came time to pay me for those views through the ad revenue, I made less money. So I paid for more views but earned less. I don't know how that works, but to me that math don't add up. Now, maybe this first month or so is a fluke. Maybe it needs time to get rolling. And, it keeps telling me that, at least $100 makes a bigger difference. But, the way the $20 went, I'm not so sure about that. There doesn't seem to be a lot of logic behind paying someone more when they did poorly on a previous job that you paid them for. But I'll give it a little longer. I'll see what they could do in the next month. But if I'm paying them and I'm earning even less than I did when I wasn't paying them, then I believe that that is not the answer, which is fine because I feel weird about paying for it anyway. I've said that the magic has to pay for itself. Well, the same goes for paying for ads for your videos. If it's not paying for itself, then there's no point in doing it. Saying that you brought in a few thousand extra views, but that not translating into more ad revenue is highly suspect. And you could try to reason it away by saying, well, maybe those extra views had ad blockers on, but then they wouldn't see the ad for my video. So I don't think that could be it. But anyway, that's where it's at. Now, if and when this little experiment fails, then I will look at getting the new channel up and running. People keep asking where it is. It's at youtube.com/@mind-and-magic. Now, I did my best to put it in the end screen of the video, but then the end screen wouldn't show up. So for some reason, it wasn't allowing me to, but I'll put it in the description for those that want to find it. Machine Maker 2248 says, magic has tended to take the least resistance path, so when I do money magic, I get gifts from elderly relatives. When I specify from outside my family, the magic fails. Any suggestions? Yes. My advice would be to open more avenues for the money to reach you. This is commonly referred to as a road opener. So you should do the road opener before you do the money magic. And follow the road opener up with taking some action specifically to create a new path for you. Whether that be updating your resume and putting it out there, learning a new skill, creating a product or service. Or you get the idea, because action supports the magic and magic supports the action. So do the road opener, but also take real-world steps that road opener can support. Then do your money magic for sources outside the family and see what happens. And also keep an eye out for opportunities, because a road opener creates opportunities. Recognizing and capitalizing on opportunities is crucial, and I go over that in the laws of magic. Learn them, love them, live them. And I appreciate the question. Thank you. All right, so this is on the service to others clip video. Some people, like the cartels, like to sell, let's call them substances. Is that service to other people? It sure is profitable. Yes. Yes, it is. Now, I know what you're trying to do by asking this question, that, it's not service if it's not legal and it's not moral. I mean, the black market only exists because things are in demand that people can't get otherwise, and someone then provides that service. The morality and legality of it has nothing to do with whether or not it qualifies as a service. Now, one could argue that those things are bad for you, and that would be a valid argument, but it's still a service. Back when I smoked, which at this point has been about 10 years since I have, at the height of that, you couldn't get between me and my cigarettes. And they were expensive then. They're astronomically expensive now. And everybody knows it's bad for you, but I continue to do it. Why? Because the withdrawals are so rough. There is an addiction component to these things, and it keeps those particular services going, immoral and as unhealthy as they are. Even prison is correctional services. Look it up. They're providing the inmates a valuable service.
Hey, Rick, you see that? What I just did? That is some service. I'd just take care of one of these dead pricks that could have killed one of y'all. Service.
I never said that all services are created equal, because they're not even close. And with that in mind, let's take the next comment. Thank you. I have to disagree with you, FrAIter. If I'm charging you money for a service, I'm serving myself, not you. Well, who decides on whether it's a service? Well, the customer. Because if it's not something that's in demand, if it's not something that they want or need, they're not going to be paying you anything. But if it is something that the people want or need, and they're willing to pay you for it, then yes, it does become a service or product, because it's valuable enough for them to want to pay you for it. And if it's not, they won't. It's basic supply and demand. And by saying that offering a service, you're not serving others, but only serving yourself, you're under the false impression that the two are mutually exclusive. That it has to be one or the other. When the truth is, you cannot serve others without serving yourself. That's why it's the path to getting ahead. So your entire argument is built upon false principles.
Ergo, a falsus principiis proficisci. Meaning?
That's not.
Meaning?
That's the one about false principles, but
You
it's
proceed from false principles. Your argument is built on quicksand, therefore it collapses.
And if you're only out to serve yourself, then you won't get ahead. Because for whatever reason, the universe just doesn't like it, and it doesn't operate like that. It's made it so that only by serving others can you truly serve yourself. Okay, so I'm going to lay it hard down for you right here. When it comes to service, it's not just about the act. It's also about the intention. I told a story about when I started this channel that I didn't earn a dime for like the first year and a half or so. Why did I keep doing it? Because I knew I was providing a valuable service by getting the information out. When I started making money from the channel, it was because I was providing valuable service by getting the information out. Now, contrast that to somebody who only wants to serve themselves. Would they do that for a year and a half without making anything if they were truly self-serving? I don't think so. Well, this ain't working out. I'm going to go do something else. They wouldn't stick with it long enough to earn anything because they're self-serving. He continues, you are hiring me. It's not service. Sure it is. The job is a service. Somebody better let the Department of Labor know that they have it miscategorized this whole time. See, the reason things aren't working out for you the way I'm telling you that things work out is because you're operating under those false principles and definitions. Your definitions are wonky. He says, I watch a YouTube channel of a man who sold everything he owns and opened a children's village in Africa. That is service to others. Yeah, but so is anybody else that's getting paid for a service. He's just not getting paid because he chose to provide his service to a bunch of impoverished people who don't have money. Instead, I'm sure they paid him with gratitude. Because even if you are providing your service for free without monetary benefit, it's still going to make you feel good for doing it, and you still get something out of it. By serving others, you do serve yourself. He says, I was a bricklayer for 22 years, self-employed. That was service to myself. Because that's your intention, to only serve yourself. I highly suspect that this person has been infected with the communist mind virus. That also proceeds from false principles. By saying that, if you're paid for it, then it's not a service, but if you do it for free, that it is a service, is complete malarkey.
Come in.
Actually, it's Sergeant Malarkey now. I just got promoted.
Oh, lovely.
Now, if I knew that somebody was completely self-serving, I wouldn't want to hire that person for their business because they probably don't care about their customers all that much. And if they don't care about the customers, then they probably don't care about the work that they're doing for the customers. And this is why those who genuinely want to provide service to others often rise to the top of their fields because they provide the best service to others. So people want to pay them more. I mean, these aren't difficult breadcrumbs to follow. So if there's anything that you need to take away from this, it's this. Providing service to others needs to be in your intent, not just your action. And if you're not, then you're trying to swim upstream. You're never going to rise to the level that you could have. And look, that's not me telling you this. That's the universe telling you this by keeping you down when you've been trying to self-serve yourself. So go serve yourself some of that self-serve. Normally I would cut a blooper like that out, but it's kind of funny. I'll keep it in. I don't really mean it. I do wish this person the best. But one of my pet peeves is people who know it isn't working the way they're doing it, but yet want to argue with you that your way is wrong when they haven't tried it and everything that they've done is wrong. Now, perhaps he's saying that he did make money. 22 years he was self-employed. He had to be making something. Well, he could have made more. Because for whatever reason, the universe rewards those who serve others and punishes those who are self-serving. Now, the way he chose to serve himself was to be a self-employed bricklayer. But he wasn't just laying those bricks for himself. He wasn't paying himself. He had to be laying the bricks for someone who was paying him for providing them a service. Now, whether that work was quality or not, only they would know. But as I said, you can't provide service to others without serving yourself. It's funny how he chose to serve himself by serving others. Because how else are you going to earn money? You can't. So even in thinking that he's just serving himself, he's still serving others. He's just not calling it service to others because they're paying for it, which is just skewing the definitions of words that already have meaning. He's trying to change the definition of the word service, and it's just not working. Let's look it up real quick. Service, the action of helping or doing work for someone. It's right there. Whether you get paid for that work or not, it's still service. Even my little rant about this right now is providing service, because I'm trying to help you and others by explaining things in a way that you can understand them and take action on them so you can reap the benefits of it. And this is the type of thing that could really keep somebody from achieving that next level of greatness or not. It's not a throwaway concept. The laws of riches, people. Learn them, love them, live them. Hermity Flux asks, do you think the spirit derived that question from reading your thoughts and understanding your spiritual and religious background and upbringing instead of its own personal experiences? To clarify my question, do you think the spirit believes these things, or is it only posing a question based on your beliefs? Now, it could be a little bit of both. And that's a large part of why you're not supposed to commune or converse with them just to have casual conversations, that you're supposed to have a purpose in mind and get them to just do that purpose. Now, it's going to be unavoidable if your purpose is to have those conversations and are out to acquire knowledge that you otherwise couldn't get. But when it comes to rebellious spirits, you have to take everything that they say with a grain of salt, and you absolutely must get them to swear upon the triangle of the art. Because in many of the spirit's descriptions itself, it tells you that they lie to you. Unless you're wearing the ring, get them to swear on the triangle, and even have the appropriate tools and attire. I mean, I've even noticed in the few operations that I've done since acquiring the lion skin belt, the amount of respect shown by the spirits, which now leads me to want to acquire a gold crown, because I hear tell that even amplifies it even more. Like when they appear before you, they think they're standing in front of Solomon or his equivalent, who they don't want to trifle with. But to answer your question, I think it's a bit of both, because they can get in your head, and you should just assume that they're messing with you not for your benefit. I've said it before that the rebellious spirits are rebellious against the Creator. And when you summon them, you are summoning them with the authority of the Creator. So don't be surprised when they're rebellious and try to pull tricks on you. And I appreciate the question. It was a good one. Thank you. Mission Silo writes, how do you deal with the karma of your teachings? And by that, he specifically means the students that I teach. If they go to do something bad, I take on part of their karma. But also follows that up with, I learned how to deal with hostiles without baneful magic. Hard lesson. That was on the video clip, The Reaper. Well, for starters, I deal with it the same as I deal with anything else. Before I got into magic, I was always on a karmic beatdown. So I guess I'm a little hardened to it, but, you're learning. At least you're learning. And as long as people are learning, then I'm fine with it. My students learn pretty quick usually because of lessons like that. And then they think, oh, well, FrAIter wasn't full of it after all. He was right. And that's really all anyone can do. As long as people are learning, they're progressing. And if not, well, I did my best to prevent them from doing so. But in the end, they got to make their own choices. And so did I. And I appreciate the questions. Why don't you try teaching creating spells? When certain planets are lining up, put a video out on how to create and use them planets, because people start magic by searching spells. You put a good video on a daily basis on preparing day to day until the actual day of the spell. Then they have to watch every day till then. They will look at all your other content to become better at magic. I've kind of done that already. The entire 7 Planetary Powers program has a keyword system showing you what the planets and the planetary days and hours are used for. That, and I'm always going on about correspondences. If you know your correspondences, you can create your own spells. So I kind of been teaching that all along. It's maybe a little bit more low-key, and one of them's in a program, but it is material that we've trotted already. I guess I can do something on the actual creating of the spells themselves with some examples, but for the most part, we've gone over it. All right, one more, and then we'll call it a day. You could do reviews of anime TV explaining the occult symbolism, and your mailbag had that suggestion. Well, I could. There's only one problem with that. I'm not really into anime. Not at all. Yes, I know that the previous video had an anime opening, but that was just me playing around with green screen. The other occult symbolism videos are the Occult in Plain Sight videos, which admittedly I haven't done one in a while, but those are best reserved for when the inspiration strikes rather than me deliberately trying to force them. But I do appreciate the suggestion, thank you. And that will about do it for today. All of the programs and courses mentioned in this video will be 25% off. Links will be in the video and in the description. And I have more where that came from over at mindandmagic.com. My socials will be up momentarily, and I will see you soon. Take care.